I even made a little dude, although I don't know how to make a gingerbread man from a side view, so.
He looks great. He's got nice leafy arms.
I know, look at that deltoid. Look at that deltoid and giant head. All right. So let's start from the top. So what were the symptoms that Carla reported to start out with?
Left side headache.
Yep. So this is my own complaint about these soap charts. I don't like the order that they put them in. So do you guys want me to follow the soap chart, or do you want me to write it the way that I would write it? Any preference?
Yeah,
whatever.
You're always fine, yeah, great.
Okay.
You are
Goes
the
your way.
professional.
All right. In that case.
Oh, I see.
Oh, never mind. No. Don't do it your way. Go back. No. Cancel that. I'm working.
Pandemonium. Oh God.
Oh my God. I didn't write those words down yet. Okay.
Right. So I usually, when I'm doing my soap charts, it depends on what type of chart I'm using. But you could say, you could use their name and say like Carla reports whatever, or you could say complaint of. I'll headache, left side, or headache left. Actually, I think I'm gonna write it like this. Left side of head from occiput to behind left eye.
When we're starting, do we need to know all the abbreviation for the headache?
Not to start out with. I just want you guys to see it and start to recognize that there are notations for certain things, but you guys don't have to memorize it starting right out. So then I would say, headache increases in morning, and then decreases as day goes on. What else did Carla mention in her intake?
Light sensitivity.
Oh, yes. Wind headache. So not light sensitivity all the time, just when she's having a headache. Anything else?
It's worse when from sleeping positions and coffee relieves it.
And coffee relieves it. Okay, so we'll get to that in this section here. But let's go ahead and Okay. So I'm just gonna note, client thinks sleeping position may worsen the headache.
Where would you put that she currently has? Because this right here just says that she's complaining of headaches.
Yeah,
What
so
would
that would be like currently,
Okay, so you would interpret that as like she came in with a headache?
yes.
Okay.
How would you write it if it was a coming in to, because they commonly have headaches but do not currently have one?
So I would say something like, complaints of frequent headaches,
Or reoccurring?
or reoccurring headaches, worsening throughout the week, maybe no headache present at this time, something like that.
Okay.
Could say active headache on these notes to make it real clear. It's
Yes.
active right now.
You could also say that, yeah. And so on our little dude, so Carla's pain,
Carly, you look so happy.
so Carla's pain is on the left side. And so we're gonna go ahead and circle where her pain is. We could also do it on the side view.
And the side view is facing left.
So that is the, so this is the left side view,
Okay.
right here.
This one.
Yeah.
And we know the severity also.
What was the severity?
It was severe.
Severe pain?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I would add that here. Complains of, just severe, not severe plus, right?
Right.
Okay.
And pain with the circle.
I actually don't usually put pain if it's also a headache, if that makes sense, because I think that that kind of covers it.
Yeah.
You could add that, you could add here a description of it. So you could say that it's sharp pain.
Do we have to do our initials for that?
Not if you're adding it in there. If you're crossing something out, then yes.
Okay.
And there are definitely times where I have started writing my soap chart and I realize that I have forgotten so many things that it's just better to get a new one and write it out again. That happens more at the beginning, but you'll get better at that over time. So we didn't talk about any activities of daily living, really, during our intake. But we did talk about things that aggravate and relieve Carla's headaches. So what aggravates?
Light.
Yes?
Waking
Sleeping
up.
position.
Or lack of sleep.
You just say sleeping position. And then what relieved it?
Coffee.
Yep.
And that sweet, sweet massage you just gave her.
Oh, yeah. So since coffee relieves it, that usually tells me that it may have to do with, it could also, in addition to just being like the sleeping position, it might also have to do with dehydration. It might also have to do with caffeine withdrawal, that sort of thing. Yes, Jordan?
Why would it have to do with dehydration? So coffee's a diuretic, right? Wouldn't it dehydrate you further? Not. Huh?
Not necessarily, but since it happens in the morning, people tend to be more dehydrated in the morning because they haven't had anything to drink all night long.
Okay.
But that's not really going to change my treatment plan.
Yeah.
I just kind of note that in my head. Like if it were a migraine, migraines don't often respond to caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, there's water and coffee.
And technically there's water and coffee. So it's not as dehydrating as I think a lot of the rumors say, but caffeine is a little bit dehydrating.
I'm gonna have to disagree with just one point
Yeah.
about the migraine because they actually put caffeine in a lot of migraine medication.
That's true.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking in particular of like my my husband's headache pills. So those aren't specifically for migraines, but he does get cluster headaches, and so that responds a little bit to caffeine. So yeah, I suppose
Depends on the person.
migraines too. Yeah, it really depends on the person. It depends on the
Google.
So like if you're dehydrated and you're drinking coffee, that's like, I don't know, that's gonna make the situation worse.
well, it
That's
has,
from experience.
and also the caffeine has to do with doesn't it have an effect on the blood flow to the brain? Is that
Isn't it
I'm
speed
not
up
sure
your
why
blood
it
flow?
helps. I just know it's in the migraine meds.
yeah.
Yeah, so is.
Not all of them, but the
acetaminophen,
over-the-counter
caffeine,
ones.
and-
Yeah.
But I don't think caffeine's diuretic, it's the coffee that's diuretic.
Yeah, the coffee did.
I thought.
I
The
I'm not
actual
sure.
coffee-
Yes.
We digress, sorry.
all right, we've reached the limitations of my knowledge of caffeine.
Coffee is good for you. It's the thing, it's the ingredients is that we mix together, the things that, you know, if the
Yeah, it
mixture,
comes
the
together
sugar.
and stuff, yeah.
The coffee
I get
is
it.
actually good for you,
Okay, so
obviously with balance.
our focus on this treatment, what was our focus?
We're leaving a headache.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say
Well, an increased range of motion. because
decrease headache, yes, increase range of motion, decrease hypertonicity, decrease adhesions. You could say increase relaxation if you wanted to.
How would you rate relaxation? Isn't reflexology? No, reflex. Never
Yeah.
mind, sorry.
So let's come over here to our little guy. So we found that Carla had shoulder forward posture. You could also note that on your little sideways dudes if I had two of them, but I do not. All right, so I'm gonna erase this too. So let's note what we found with the range of motion test. So decreased range of motion with what movements?
Turn your head to the right, so that would be
Rotation.
rotation.
Yes.
Oh, wasn't it to the left?
Or rotation extension.
Was it her left?
Yes.
Yes, her left.
Looking up.
Yep. Now you could also give this a descriptor too. You could say mild, moderate, severe if you wanted to. Yeah, okay.
Can you put rotation and extension in one sentence? Or you have to make two
Yeah, you
separate
could do
ones?
that in one sentence if you wanted to. Sometimes I'll list them out. Sometimes I'll write them individually. It kind of depends for me on the SOAP chart. So like when I'm writing it on the computer, I'll usually write it as like one sentence because I'm not using like the regular notation because we don't have that in our system that we use at my work. So I'll just type it out in one sentence. What other motions were limited? Flexion? Yeah.
The lateral, I don't know how you put it, bilateral.
And you could also add what side was it that she raised her shoulder the most for?
Both, but it was mostly on the right,
On the right side?
yeah.
Okay, let me know when you guys are done because I'm gonna have to erase this part.
Done.
I'm done.
Anybody not done? Going once?
Do you have more of these?
Of the SOAP charts? Yeah. Do you need another one?
Oh, I was just wondering where you put them.
They are over here.
And you said we could fill these out in what color pen? Just black?
Black or blue ink.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like a
Legal.
weird professional norm in the United States,
Yeah, I
board,
can
doctor,
understand.
all of it. Yeah.
And some offices are pickier than others. So I've had some offices where they're like, absolutely everything has to be in black ink 100% of the time. And other offices are like, when we copy these, for the records requests, it's all gonna look black anyways, so who cares?
Yeah, I was hoping that blue was allowed.
Yes.
I feel like drawing on the dude on the back, blue would be much easier to see than black on black. On our little gingerbread man.
All right. So now let's get into what we found during the massage. What's the first on the list? Levator scapula, right? What did I find there?
Adhesion.
Yep.
I think moderate plus, wasn't it?
So left side, moderate plus, adhesion. Levator scapula.
Then you move to scalings.
Okay, what did I find at the scalings?
It was, left side, moderate, hypertonicity, scaling.
Okay. let's note this on our little dude. So we found an adhesion at levator scapula, and we found hypertonicity of the scalenes. What else did we find?
Mild hypertension, or you already did scaling. Oops, sorry. Right side mild hypertension in the right occiput. And you use.
Oh, it wasn't the occipitals that I found it, was it?
I think maybe venous catheter.
Yep. And I think there was one more.
There was, I think, well, you did mention later about the occiput. Right, you said right and left, I think.
Yeah, and bilateral mouth less for occipital.
And then you also mentioned left shoulder being rotated forward. Oh no, you mentioned that it was releasing.
Hypertonicity in occipitals. And then what did I say for the multifity and rotatories?
Oh, yeah.
Left adhesion.
What was the severity?
Moderate.
Okay.
And I think you also, in the pec major,
I'm running out of room, you guys. What did I find in pec major? It was the right side, right?
I was bilateral, but I could be wrong because I got really confused at this point.
Okay, I think it was the right side.
Yeah,
Okay.
What was the severity?
it was,
Mild, I think.
Well,
yeah.
I have tech major on the right side going from moderate to 0.
okay.
Like that was the change. I think the left side was mild.
Okay. So that hypertonicity was in pec major. If it was pec minor, I would use a lowercase m. All right. So and then occipitals. Left side multifity and rotatories, and then right side back major. So you can list, when you come back to this, after you have when you are marking your change, I like to list the modalities that I've done as like one separate thing instead of for each thing that I find. So a lot of soap charts will actually have a section for modalities. So what did I use? I used Swedish massage, prolonged ischemic compression. What else?
Exercise.
That's under Swedish. Yep.
have the circle around the M?
That's how you notate massage.
Okay.
How long does it take to normally do after?
After some practice, only a couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys used to only have 15 minutes between sessions. Now it's like 20, 25 through COVID, right?
Yes, but in the workplace, sometimes you'll only get like 5 minutes, 10 minutes between sessions. So a lot of times, I've done it a couple different ways. Sometimes I will do the intake, make some notes, do the massage, finish my notes. Or sometimes I will just do the massage, do the massage, do the massage, and make all of my notes at the end. But that takes a lot of practice with trying to remember everything.
Yeah.
The first one sounds just about right.
Yeah, I really like to do my notes in 2 parts if I can.
So it seems like it would work best to me.
But sometimes it just depends on the clinic and like what their
Right.
time scale is like.
Exactly. There's
So,
always factors that come in. So.
yep. All right. So what were the change?
For the levator scapula, I put circle L, M plus, delta, M minus.
For the levator scapula, what?
The M plus to the M minus.
Okay. And then for the scalenes?
M to L.
Okay. How about splenius capitis?
I didn't record that one.
I don't know.
Or maybe it was M to M minus, because
I think it went to mild minus. Maybe I'm just making that up. What about the occipitals?
I have
M minus.
M to L.
You have moderate for that?
Yeah, well, that's what I have written in the response area is M triangle L circle.
Okay. How about the multivities and rotatories?
I don't have that.
M minus. That's why I did it.
L minus, is that what you said?
M.
M minus?
Yeah.
I think it was a bigger change than that.
Who knows?
Let's do light minus. And then for the pec major, that was all the way to 0, right?
Yeah.
I think
That's a
isn't that just
terrible
on the
circle.
left side.
That's on the right side. You also did a little bit of work on the left side.
What did I note for that?
M minus. Is that right?
Yeah, so it went from L to L minus.
Okay.
I had for the left side that it was L plus the L.
For the left side?
Yeah.
I had something very different than everyone else.
So let's go ahead and mark that over here too. Did I miss any others? And when you have your notations here, you can also